What if your worship team's greatest impact wasn't what you do on the platform, but who you're raising from it? I'm talking about the next generation of leaders, right? That next generation that's watching, they're curious, they're creative, and they're looking for somebody to show them the way. This isn't just a leadership challenge to you. It's an invitation really to pour into that next generation spiritually and practically with the skills, with purpose, with presence, right? So stick around because I'm going to give you some very practical ways to develop that next wave of worship leaders and tech creatives in your church. So you might be asking yourself, why does this even matter? You know, at MxU, we want to come alongside your church and give you tools that develop volunteers, that gets people off the sidelines and into the game, right? We don't need to wait for a crisis to start building future leaders. We need to be intentional right now, right? This is an act of discipleship, developing the spiritual foundation and the physical skills of the next generation. We call them next gen, right? And before we ever talk about developing their skills, we have to talk about soul care. Because when we pour into the next generation spiritual foundation, we're not just raising musicians and techs. I really do believe we're raising worshipers, right? You want to see maturity on the stage? Start by building identity off the stage. Model scripture, invite prayer, talk about why we serve and not just the how, right? This is why we build resources here at MxU, like the Team Night Guide, which you can find for free in the section below, like most of our videos. Next, I want to talk about, though, we're going to look at like practical skill building, ideas for next gen worship team members and tech team members, right? So when it comes to developing young worship leaders or musicians, really, here's the secret. Let them learn by doing it. Don't overthink this, right? Don't overstructure it. Just open the door and let them walk through it. You don't have to handhold them a whole Sunday service, right? To start, you just invite them into the room. Here are some practical ways I found this could work. First, shadow early and often and really casually, I think is important. One of the best things you can do for a developing leader or musician is to let them shadow your team, not in like a high pressure, evaluation-based kind of way. I'm talking about like a casual observation. Let them come to rehearsal. Let them just sit in the back and watch vocalists, find their blend or a guitarist dial in their tone. Just let them ask questions. Let them take it all in. That comfort, that familiarity, it really starts before they ever touch a mic or lead a song, before they feel any pressure to perform, right? They just need to feel like they belong first. Second, I want to talk about let them lead in safe environments. Give them a chance to lead in environments that are going to feel safe. Youth group, a midweek acoustic set, team prayer time before a service. These are perfect training grounds. It doesn't have to be a whole set. Just start with one verse, one song, one simple win. Give them the opportunity to take that one step and then celebrate that step, right? Don't wait for perfection. Train in progression. You're building a foundation, not a platform. Remember that. And third, make feedback a gift, not a threat. If you want your people to grow, you have to create an environment where feedback feels like a gift, not a threat. That means leading with encouragement, correct in love, and start with their perspective. Ask questions like, what do you feel went well? Or how did that moment feel for you? Let them reflect before you ultimately redirect, right? Because when people feel seen and safe and supported, they grow way faster and way stronger. Looking for help in this area? We also built a free feedback guide for you to use with your teams. The link is in the description below as well. But I want to move on now to talk about the technical side of things. Walking into a tech booth for the first time can be very intimidating. I've been there, you may have been there. All the buttons, the blinking lights, the pressure, getting it right in front of everybody. But that's exactly why we need to create on-ramps for learning. So here's how we do it in a way that builds confidence instead of anxiety for folks serving on the tech side of things. First, invite curiosity before assignments, right? Don't start by handing them a headset and saying, you're running lyrics today. Start with curiosity. Let them come in after service and just play around, right? Pull up a multi-track from rehearsal. Let them push faders. Let them hear what changes when they bring those vocals up or pull guitars back. Walk them through simple things like cables. Right? Talk about why they're labeled the way they are. Show them the difference between XLR and TRS cables, not with a quiz, just with a conversation. Because I do believe curiosity will be the first step towards confidence. Secondly, we have got to create simple roles that will build that confidence, right? Don't underestimate the value of these small wins. Give them entry-level roles that carry real ownership still, right? Like stage manager or camera assistant, or maybe even they're an A2, that assistant to your audio engineer, just helping with mic checks or batteries, right? It's not about what they do. It is about giving them responsibility that is going to grow into trust, right? And when someone feels trusted, they'll start to trust themselves. And that is the ultimate goal that we are going after here. Third, we got to normalize mistakes. Let's be honest, every great tech volunteer you've ever worked with, they all started by getting something wrong. I've been there, you've been there, that muted mic, a missed lyric, a camera that wasn't quite in focus. That's how we learn. So celebrate the effort, encourage the progress, right? And remind them, growth always involves grace. Because goal isn't perfection, it's development. We don't need flawless tech volunteers. We need faithful ones who are being formed over time. So worship and tech leaders, let's raise the bar. Let's extend the invitation to that next generation. These young people are ready. Let's help them grow spiritually, right? Let's train them technically. Let's send them confidently into volunteer roles inside our churches. This is exactly what we do at MxU. We're so passionate about it. We help you build teams that are empowered to serve your church. I mentioned them before. We have many free resources. Check out the Volunteer Development Toolkit. It's linked below with practical steps, conversation guides, templates to help you equip the next generation of worship and tech leaders. As always, thank you for watching. Please, if this video is helpful to you, like and subscribe. Liking just helps us grow this channel and reach other churches just like you. And subscribing just helps you not miss out on future videos just like this that we release on a weekly basis. Thank you for joining. Hopefully we'll see you next time.